Quiet on the set.
AC.
Quiet.
No, sound like the screen door on Friday and shit. Damn, Smokey. Excuse me, stagehand.
Anybody else's lips smell funny?
I'm good at doing dumb
and I'm breathing like a fat kid.
Man, I just got stage fright.
The Grog Bowl follows 3 Army veterans on a trail of self-discovery and hopefully progress as they talk about life before, during, and after service. These 3 service members have varied jobs, time in service, and experience after service, but one thing remains constant. You are never the same, for better or worse, after any amount of service.
Today's episode of the Grog Bowl podcast is brought to you by 1776 Tactical Corporation, Recon Tree Care, the Veterans Mobile Sawmill, and CLT Media Group. If you like what you hear, take a moment to subscribe to the podcast so you know exactly when we publish our next episode. And don't forget, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Next episode coming at you right now.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 4 on the Grog Bowl podcast. We got some exciting news today about our current venue. We are currently live at the local Patriot Roasting Company in downtown Kannapolis, K-Town.
Yeah, we're in here, K-Town. Thank you to the local Patriot Roasting Company. Thank you for allowing us to broadcast from your location.
I'm pretty good friends with the owner, Kate.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, she's kind of a big deal around here. She's
You're both a big deal.
try to be. She's one of the partners with Old Armor Brewing Company right down the street here. A couple of the owners are there, are also partnered with local Patriot over here. But big shout out to those guys. They got amazing coffee in here. This is one of my daily go-to coffee shops, and I think you frequent here yourself, right, Jim?
Yeah, I've been here a few times. Bought my wife a shirt that she decided not to wear this evening. But it's all good. She looks good.
She's working.
Yeah, you look good.
She's always working.
So the local Patriot, they do a lot of stuff for veterans and first responders in the area. They have a nonprofit called WAR. It's Warriors Always Rise. They have a big outreach for the veteran community, always doing cool, phenomenal stuff. For instance, I believe it was back in March, local Patriot partnered with the American Valor Foundation, and we had Chris Kyle's parents flew out, and 1776, which is my other company, 1776 Tactical Corporation, got involved with it too, and we did a lot of raffling with Old Armor as a sponsorship, and a lot of the other local veteran companies out here did a good-sized raffle. Got the American Valor Foundation. I want to say it was a good $10,000, $15,000 we were able to give to the organization.
Nice.
Everybody likes money.
But it was an amazing event. Got to meet veterans. Meeting Chris Kyle's parents alone was something magical that night. Like, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're here live at the local Patriot. Shout out to Kate and
Derek, who's Chris Kyle?
So Chris Kyle is one of the deadliest snipers in U.S. history.
Is that who they did the movie about?
American Sniper.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. I love that movie, man.
So that was Chris Kyle. His brother and his mom and dad founded the American Valor Foundation. So they go around telling Chris a story, keeping it alive, and going from there. It's a great organization, and a lot of companies down here in K-Town a lot of them are veteran-owned, and we just help out the veteran community and try to get on it. And same with 1776 with my other company, and that's what we are also about with the Grog Bowl, helping out veterans, first responders, and also anybody else who wants to come get on the board and join us.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Kyle. Thanks for your service and what you continue to do for the veteran community. That's very important.
All right. We got the pleasantries out of the way for today.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Now we're going on. So last week we ended with our topic was supposed to be coming up on dumbest things you've done while deployed. Personal stories you were near or nearby, stuff like that. Because it's not all fun and games. It's not all, war and killing. Sometimes we do some dumb stuff. So who wants to go first?
So I got a good story about a lieutenant. So speaking of that,
first.
I'm drinking a beer from Old Armor, and it is called the Lost Lieutenant. So I think this goes good with this story I'm about to tell. So there we were in Iraq.
True story.
True story.
No bullshit.
Sorry, Grandma.
we had just gotten a new LT, and we were outside doing a patrol brief. So this was his first patrol ever. He came to us, I think, after once we got in the country. And I don't remember what happened to our other LT. I can't remember that far back. Memory's kind of fading away, but got the patrol brief done, and he's the one, but he's also, we rolled out in a 4-truck concept, so he was a number 2 truck in the line. We were rolling, 4-truck concept, number 2. And we allowed this to happen. It was funny as shit. I couldn't tell him what happened, but
Did you just let him get lost?
we let him get lost. But what happened was, when we have a 9 mil, right? So all the lieutenants and your platoon sergeants, section sergeants, they all have 9 mils, and he's got a lanyard on it. So he's wearing the right quad holster.
Yeah.
Right? I guess he didn't have it strapped in. He got it in his truck. 9 mil fell out, and he didn't know it. So we went about. I'm pretty sure we were on that road for a good 2 hours before we got to our destination, and the entire time nobody said a word, and the 9 mil was just going ba-doom, 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 all the way
It
down
didn't
the damn
fall
road.
off?
The lanyard stayed on.
Oh my goodness.
And he's just bouncing that 9 mil all the way down Iraq. We got there, and once we got on site, he pulled out his gun. He was like, "What the hell is this? What's going on?"
What's that? It's Kyle, yeah. You want to
How you
come?
doing, Kyle? What's up, man?
Hey,
You wanna-
come on over, man.
You want to come play or no? We don't want to pressure you. Go ahead, folks. You can walk by. You're fine. You're fine.
Hey, it's a Marine. How you doing, sir?
What's up, man?
All right.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
All right.
I'm Mike. Yeah, man.
Nice to meet you,
Jim.
man.
I'm Mike. Jim,
No, that's
Jim.
Derek.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
Mike.
Lord.
He's Jim.
There you go.
Three Stooges intro.
Yeah.
Sorry for the sidetrack. Got a very special guest joining us. Just drove up from Charlotte today. He's visiting K-Town. He's also a Marine. Sir, what's your name?
Hey, my name is Kyle Carpenter. What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
How you doing, Kyle?
Never thought I would just unexpectedly walk up on a podcast, but yeah, I came to check out Kannapolis. It's a super cool little town, and yeah, we've really enjoyed the day so far. And ironically, headed over to see the veterans at Old Armor a couple blocks over. And yeah, man. So thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Absolutely.
I can't
man.
believe our luck that the one day Derek decides to push us to do an on-site podcast, you just happen to be walking by on your first trip to Kannapolis.
You're going to be hearing it from him from now on, any ideas that he has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have to do it. Remember what happened last time?
Yeah. So Kate just came up here. She's like, "Hey, do you know who just walked by?" I was like, "No." She's starstruck. She's like, "It was Kyle." She's like, "I've been trying to get him to come up here for a while now, and here you are." That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, better late than never, but yeah, it's been a great day so far.
So for those of us who don't really know, and I don't want to get too deep into it, can you give us like a 30-second, 1-minute spiel about why you're, or who you are?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I feel like I'm a very normal dude, but beyond that, as far as my military career goes, I joined the Marine Corps in 2009. I deployed on my first combat deployment about a year and a half into my time, and yeah, deployed summer of 2010 to Marj, Afghanistan. And a little over 4 months into my deployment, I was on top of a roof with a fellow Marine and best friend when the Taliban, just like they did every single day, decided to initiate an attack. And in that attack, they threw multiple hand grenades. And one of those hand grenades landed on the roof with us. And, you know, every single day of Afghanistan was a fight from, as y'all know, a fight from sunup to sundown. But yeah, on that day, they threw 4 hand grenades, I believe, and I don't remember anything. I don't remember seeing the grenade or thinking about it, hearing it land, but from a very long, extensive, over 2-year investigation done by the Marine Corps and the Department of Defense, and eyewitness accounts from my buddies who were there that day, it was concluded that I attempted to cover the hand grenade for my fellow Marine. And you know, it's kind of still so crazy that at times it almost doesn't really feel like it's quite my story, just because it is so, humbly unbelievable that I did that. But at the same time, I always try to tell people that, from the moment we go to boot camp or basic training or stand on those yellow footprints, it's ingrained into us every single day, those that came before us, and the history and the legacy and the courage of those that came before us. So, with that said, I'm just forever thankful that I was able to step up and be the fellow Marine and friend that I was in that moment.
And that's what people don't understand. You said you didn't even hear the grenade land, but you obviously, I can look at you and see you were right next to it or on top of it, right? But that training that everybody goes through, it just kicks in, and you don't think most of the time, right? Something happens like that, and you find out really quickly who you are when something like that happens. Like, I've got a story that I wasn't going to tell today, but I have a lieutenant that hid behind some trash cans, right? Thankfully, you weren't that guy, and you went the other direction, because not only are you still here to tell your story, but the other guy is still here too. That's pretty awesome, man. That's really cool. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you happened to come by. And we'll change the subject just a little bit, because I can tell, that's a deep personal story that we don't necessarily.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and it's an opportunity to educate people on what we go through, what we do, and the risk we take for something greater.
Sorry, somebody's got a big truck and a small weenie.
Welcome to Kannapolis.
But it's an opportunity to continue to bridge that gap of military and civilian understanding, and just let people know what we go through while wearing the uniform. But it's been an amazing journey. Obviously very tough at times, but to get knocked down like that and to come back and to really see what, take me out of it, but just what the human spirit is made of and what it can do is really powerful, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
That's awesome.
Hey, Kyle, my question to you is, you said you were on the rooftop with a friend or friends. How did your relationship change after that day?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I was just up there with one Marine, and as a person, he is opposite from me in every way. From Plymouth, Massachusetts, cussed like a sailor, but at the end of the day, was just the greatest dude. Always had anyone's back, and just a testament to how great of a Marine he was when we were in together. He had just got dropped to our unit, and so, being dropped to a unit with an entire platoon of Marines that have gone on one, if not multiple, combat deployments to Iraq, much more experienced than we were. He was our point man for every single patrol, every single day of the entire 4.5 months until we got injured. So as, a guy with a couple of months of experience, never even deploying, he was that point man for all the guys that had been there and done that before. So, he was spot on, and there's numerous difficult sides of the after, effect of combat and war and being in traumatic situations like that. And so one of those is obviously the physical side, what I went through, but the even scarier side is the traumatic brain injury side. And he received a traumatic brain injury, and do I think about it, and do I wish that I could take every piece of the grenade and even if I wasn't still here, have him completely alive and healthy and well? Absolutely. But I understand that I did what I could, and the cards played out how they did. So with all of that said, he's doing much better, as am I, than, our early days together in the hospital when we were writing little basic scribbled messages on a whiteboard or an erase board to send down the hall to each other. And, ultimately, it's been a tough road for both of us, but at the end of the day, I'm just so thankful that, he's still here, he's healed up and much better than he was. And now he's able to just be around family and loved ones, back in Plymouth, Massachusetts, like I am down here in the Carolinas.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you originally from Charlotte?
No, I kind of grew up all over, the Southeast growing up. But I've been in Charlotte for 4 years now, and my family's been down in South Carolina for like 13 or 14. But so Carolinas are home.
Nice.
Well, we're glad to have you here in the Carolinas, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right. Do we want to continue with our regular scheduled program and do some dumb stories for deployments?
Yeah. Sure.
I know I don't want to hold you up while you guys are out here visiting. So if you have a story you want to share, or if you just want to cut sling load and head out, this is all I need.
I can stick around for a couple dumb stories.
Okay.
So I told the one about the lieutenant because we're drinking a lost lieutenant over here from Old Armor. Recap real quick. He was on his first patrol, and nobody said a word to him. I was a senior section sergeant at the time, taking point, and he got into Humvee. He was number 2 truck, right? 9mm fell out of his holster, and for the whole trip, this 9mm just going ba-ding, ba-ding, all the way down the road. So we didn't say a word when we got there. His 9mm was pouring on the L. I was like, all right.
So was his 9mm even serviceable?
It was pretty torn up. I'm pretty sure that the CO got into his ass a little bit.
It still worked though. That's the important thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was a Beretta, so it was pretty good.
Weapons check.
That weapon was in nowhere near shape as his ego. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's for damn sure. But hey, being a lieutenant, you should be used to that. Getting your ego bruised up all the time. So speaking of lieutenants, we had a little bit of hazing going on. I won't say which unit, but we had a lieutenant get mushroom stamped in the field right on the forehead.
God.
And the claim was that it was a rite of passage. So yeah, everybody mushroom stamped the LT.
That's one of the things I'm glad they started getting rid of was the hazing. It slowly started to fade away, and depending on which unit you were in. But stuff like that, man, there's not enough bleach in the world.
Yeah, by my mid-career, all the hazing, all that stuff was non-existent. Like, it did not happen. That was the early 2000s, 90s, when all that stuff was going on.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear a story from our guest.
Oh man.
Put him on the spot.
And this is just stupid or funny stories.
Yeah, funny story,
dumb,
man. Something
stupid that
dumb,
either
man.
happened to you downrange or
happened around you to somebody
Yeah.
else.
Man. Hey, can we tell one more and let me
Yeah,
think
I'll
about
go.
it for a
I got
second?
one for you. So this is less. It's not really dumb. Well, it is dumb, because the what could have happened is okay. So anyway, I did a lot of dumb things while we were deployed, but I did most of them because I didn't want my soldiers to have to do them. So I was always under the mindset like, you're not going to ask your soldiers to do something you've never done before, right? They can't. This is beside the point. Just to prove my story, like somebody threw something away in the dumpster that we needed to get back, right? I'd never climbed into a dumpster before. So before I could tell all my soldiers, get in the dumpster and find this, I went in the dumpster with them for about 10 minutes and started searching through trash to find whatever document it was we were missing. And then I get out. It's like, okay, now you do it because I've done it already, right? So I'd never asked the soldiers to do anything that I wouldn't do or hadn't done. So my second deployment, we were in Iraq. There was a BOLO, be on the lookout for it was a water tanker. Right, a truck with a water tank on the back.
That's terrifying.
Yes. Well, we were walking around doing a patrol. I was a squad leader at the time. My squad was out. My lieutenant was there. We're walking around the city, and all of a sudden we find a water tanker, a truck water tanker, just sitting in the middle of the city. We're like, well, I guess we have to search it. So we did a little cordon. We searched the outside of it, looked underneath, everything. Didn't find anything wrong with it. And the lieutenant's like, we got to check inside the water tank. So somebody opens the lid, looks down there, is like, I can't see anything. He's like, no, we have to search the inside of the water tank. It was empty, thankfully. There was no water in it, but I am not a large person. I'm tall, but I'm skinny, right?
So who's going in?
So
Yeah, really.
I ended up going into the water tanker as an E6 to search the tank. So if you don't know, the inside of a water tank has baffles. It has walls all the way up and down it with holes in them, and they're only about 12 inches from the wall like not very big holes at all. So in the middle of Iraq, I strip down all my gear, take everything off, I climb into the back of this water tank. And mind you, I'm the squad, like I'm the one not supposed to be doing these things, but I couldn't ask the soldiers. One, I couldn't ask the soldiers to do it because I had never done it before. And two, I couldn't ask them to do it because most of them were bigger than I was, right? I was the only one that would literally fit into this water tanker. So I'm going into the back of a water tanker. The hole, if you've seen a water buffalo, you know, the top is like 18 inches across, right? So there's an 18-inch hole at the top you drop down into. It's 2 feet wide, and then there's a little 12-inch gap on the side. So I had to go through in serpentine and weave my way from the back to the front through 6 of these baffles, the whole time hoping that it's not full of explosives around the next set of baffles. And then I finally came out. So it was empty, there was nothing in there, but that was my dumb story. Climbing in the back of a water tanker in the middle of Iraq.
Bro, you better go find a lieutenant.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Shout out
sometimes
to the lieutenant.
sometimes you just got to do some dumb stuff to keep people safe.
Oh,
But yeah.
All right. What do I got next? All right, I got another story real quick. So we were at, where were we? This was Iraq, JSS Dora. I was with 5-7 Cav out of 3rd ID. We were out on the JSS by ourselves. We were pushed with the, what do you call them, the federal FPs, IFPs, Iraqi Federal Police? Is that what they're called? Yeah. So we were sharing a fob with FPs. It was our troop only. Then you had these guys over there. So the entire time we were there, 12 months, my first sergeant was running around shooting these damn wild ass dogs. Like these damn dogs would bite the shit out of you. They'll chase you down. They rolled in packs. So I remember one night I was a brand new staff sergeant, had to go to the FP side and check on my guys because we had OP set up on the FP side, covering our northern entrance. And I remember these fucking dogs were over there. So all I had was my 9mm, left it before in a damn chew. As soon as I walked in there, I dropped the hammer back. All right? I was like, I'm gonna shoot this fucking 9mm, or shoot these damn dogs as they come after me. Went and did my thing, come all the way back. Now, I have 16 years in the military. I own a fucking gun shop. I am around firearms daily, all right? And this is the one time.
You didn't.
This is the one damn time in my life that I made a freaking mistake. I didn't have the ND, but what happened is I left that damn 9mm hammer dropped back the entire time. I came back from on our side, was talking to the first sergeant, was my platoon sergeant, I had it on my left side, I had my shoulder harness on, and my platoon sergeant was right behind me, and the entire time I didn't realize the damn hammer was cocked back. I had forgot to clear it when we came back over, and when I got to my chew, I was just like, you idiot.
I thought you were going to say you had an ND.
Nope, I didn't have an ND, but I do have another ND story. But I was just like, did I really just do that? Like, I'm supposed to be the leader out here checking these damn weapons, and here I am, about to have an ND and shoot somebody.
You had me when you said you left your M4 in a chew.
No, I left it there on purpose.
I know. I didn't know you could do that. I never left my weapon anywhere.
I had
unless it was locked in a weapons rack.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. I never heard of people leaving a whole ass weapon behind.
So I had
it was in my sack. Like it was.
So I had an M4 and a 9mm at the same time.
I was about 100 yards away. Like
if you were my soldier, you'd have been screwed.
I'd leave mine though, but I'd leave it with my lieutenant.
Listen here.
Oh shit, that's even worse.
Yeah, he can't be trusted.
So yeah, there's my second dumb story of the night. There we go.
You got anything?
Yeah. So with pretty much next month being November and the Marine Corps birthday, as anyone who knows Marines, that we're obnoxiously proud of our history and where we come from and our traditions. So
no, not at all.
So every November we have the Marine Corps birthday, and nowadays after my service and the past 10, 12 years since my recovery, I'm very honored that I get invited to a couple Marine Corps birthdays a year, and now it's always like beautiful ceremonies. Everyone's clean and smelling fresh, like not on a deployment. And so when we were in Afghanistan, no showers for the whole 7-month deployment, no cot, sleeping on the ground, whole nine. And, I think a lot of people that go to these Marine Corps birthdays stateside or at different units across the country, they think like all Marine Corps birthdays are so nice. And so we're in Afghanistan, and we barely, day in and day out, we're barely getting enough food, water, and ammo to survive. And somehow, 4 months into the deployment, the Marine Corps, and all their wisdom and glory, finds a birthday cake. And this thing is smashed to pieces. It's in the worst shape. I don't even know if it's considered a cake at this point. So not only do we get a cake dropped however many miles behind enemy lines, but they drop it right in the middle of the LZ. So we got to go get shot at for hours to get this thing. And so I just, an early happy, yeah, it was worth it. But an early happy birthday, Marines. And Marine Corps birthdays come in all different shapes and sizes.
Nice.
Especially when you're deployed and you go without stuff that you normally don't have back here, back home. Like you will go to some extensive rate to get those joys that we have back home. But yeah, that's crazy.
I hope that you guys send a lieutenant out to the LZ to pick up the cake. So everybody shared great stories so far. I don't know how great this one is, but I think I already told this story to you guys, but I'm gonna tell it again because I was terrified at the time, but now I laugh about it every time I think about it. So remember I told you guys about this damn 4-wheeler?
Yeah.
So my company commander had a 4-wheeler, and when he wasn't using it, he let me use it.
I remember now. I remember. Okay.
And so, but he hasn't heard it. But I know my people in 225, they probably remember this. I know First Sergeant Foster remembers this. But
and what rank were you at this point?
At this point, I was a fresh buck sergeant E5. I had just pinned on. I had just got promoted while I was downrange. So that was cool that I actually got to pin on my E5 stripes while I was deployed. But yeah, so here I am. I'm going to grab some food from the mess hall, and I'm on this 4-wheeler. I got my Kevlar. We had M16s. We weren't good enough to get
the
M4s.
muskets.
Yeah, we had the muskets. I had a bayonet on my shit. Nah, just kidding. But I got all my gear. I'm on the 4-wheeler, and I'm just hauling ass. All the roads weren't paved yet. We were OIF 2, so they hadn't got to us to get the roads paved yet. So it was all gravel and rocks and shit. So I'm hauling ass down this gravel road, and there's a sharp right turn coming up. So I hit that right turn on the 4-wheeler, and kind of in the middle of it, I gassed it and started kicking rocks and shit. Well, there was a vehicle in oncoming traffic, and so I'm kicking rocks, hitting the vehicle and shit, and I just going about my business, not even thinking about it. Well, I get to the mess hall, I park the 4-wheeler, I climb off, and I turn around, and it was a Sergeant Major standing right behind me. The motherfucker looked like Skeletor. He was that old. But his name was Sergeant Major Taylor. He was the brigade Sergeant Major. And he said, first thing he said was, and this is kind of how he talked. He said, "Who's your fucking first sergeant?" And I'm at parade rest and shit, and I'm explaining to him, and he basically took the keys from me. He said, if you want the fucking keys back, tell your company commander to come and fucking get them. So I had to walk back to the damn company, which was like 3 miles away, and I had to tell my my company commander that the brigade sergeant major took the keys to his 4-wheeler. So yeah, that was probably the dumbest thing I did while I was deployed.
And the last ride you got on the 4-wheeler.
Yeah, that was the last ride.
That was it.
Yeah.
So I didn't think of this last time when you told the 4-wheeler story. They actually gave us boats in my first deployment.
Boats?
Yeah. So we were stationed FOB Danger in Iraq. Eventually we went to Danger, and it was right on the Tigris River.
You were north of Baghdad?
Yes.
Okay.
So they ended up giving us 2 twin-engine speedboats to do these river patrols on, because all this stuff was happening.
What?
They're moving stuff up and down the rivers. The point was we were supposed to get these boats. We were supposed to train up. We were supposed to, go up and down the river, drop people off, do some searches, come back, pick them up, right? So we have these 2 nice boats, right? So on Fob Danger, which it was one of Saddam Hussein's palace locations, whatever, that turned into a fob. It had a lake on it. So we put the boats in the water, right? The driver's learning to drive, the gunners are learning to gunner, and we're doing drown proofing. So I have people sitting on the edge, we're going a little bit fast, and we're pushing them off, we're circling back, we're picking them up, right? Everybody's taking turns getting pushed off the boat for drown proofing, like we're making sure we're gonna be safe when we go out on the mission. Some sergeant major up on the hill sees us doing this drown proofing training in the lake, calls somebody, they took our boats away. So now, we can't do the river missions anymore. Like, the whole reason we were there was to do this river mission and to start clearing the river for all the explosives and stuff they're running through the river. Some sergeant major didn't know what was going on, thought we were just out playing around, which sometimes training's fun. And it just so happens this training was fun. But they took our boats away.
You know what? I chalk that up to, I've always had this idea that sergeant majors are some of the most bored people in active duty service and don't have shit else to do but fuck with soldiers.
Sorry, sergeant majors.
Some of them.
Sorry, sergeant majors.
I've had those sergeant majors,
Sergeants.
but also had amazing sergeant majors. Like, it depends on who you kid.
I mean, I take that back. I had some pretty cool sergeant majors.
Yeah, only some of them are like that. But yeah, they stole our boats. They stole your 4-wheeler.
I mean, I want to say like 90% of them, like all they do is go around and uphold the standard. Whether it's
Stay the fuck off
you
the grass.
walking, exactly, stay off the grass. I had a sergeant major come up to me. I had a shaving profile when I first got in, and this sergeant major would literally pull out the index card and check to make sure my stubble wasn't more than 1/4 of an inch. I mean, I get it though, cause like now that I'm out, and I was an NCO. Part of our creed is to uphold the standard, and so, but I don't know that if I was to stay in and attain the rank of sergeant major, that I could have been just walk around messing with people like that. But I don't know, maybe I would have, cause I was a dickhead as an instructor.
That's part of the schooling. They teach you how to be like that.
Teach you how to be a dickhead?
Yeah.
Sorry, sergeant major.
Yeah. Wow. Anybody else got any more stories?
So I got another.
Man, you full of stories.
Dude, I got a shit.
He did his homework today. He's got a list.
I got a whole damn list over
His
here.
beer
I was like,
cup,
I'm gonna come
his beer
prepared
cup is
today.
empty too.
So it wasn't a funny story. It's kind of a sad story, but I think it was also a dumb story on our part. So we had been in country 2 months, I think, and I think we had partnered with we were third ID rolling in. We were heavy, and I think first ID might have been on it. I can't remember, but anyway, no, it might have been the 101st. We conducted the whole the biggest aerosol raid that went down in Iraq. Yeah. So I don't even remember how, we had 4 corridors. Anyway, my story, I was covering my zone, and I was the section sergeant at the time, so I had my side over here we were covering. And I noticed the car rolling up to me. He was a good 100 yards away, saw him coming. So I had my gunner start flagging him, hey, stay back, stay back. He kept coming, so he started shooting pin flares at the guy. And
Pin flares were awesome.
Finally stopped. I got a story about, that's another good story. Fucking pin flares. But anyway, the car finally stopped, and he stopped short a good 100 meters, I'd say. Finally, they were waving me down. I was like, all right, you guys stay here, scan, maintain sector. I walked out there by myself. There's an old guy in the back seat dying.
Oh, Jesus.
Like an old guy. He was probably in his 70s, 80s, and I don't know what medical condition he was, but he was literally just had the death rattle, just died. Like,
I mean, that's a pretty decent age over there, though.
yeah, he was an elder guy dying, and he pulled up in front of these houses, and all I could see was this side of this. I had a lot of what do you call them, blind spots. So we also had air cover, so they were covering my backside. I couldn't see anything. But anyway, as I was relaying this back to my platoon sergeant, I was like, hey, I got a guy here. They're trying to get through. They're trying to get into the hospital. And my role was to, nobody comes through this intersection, block this off. I don't care what the conditions are. Nobody's coming through because our guys were going door to door, door to door.
Yeah.
This guy's over here. I'm not laughing at the guy, but this guy's over here dying. And next thing I know, I don't know if he pulled up in front of his family's house or what happened, but the entire damn street started coming out, rolling up deep on me. And there was no, a lot of them were military-aged males, but there was no weapons involved, none of that stuff. They just started advancing aggressively as a crowd. And I'm on my phone, or on the mic, I was like, hey, I'm gonna need some help over here. It's getting chaotic.
they're
I got
coming
one
back
truck,
for us.
there's 3 guys, and my medic, he's in the back, and I'm like, all right.
Fucking goon squad.
Scan this sector, you see something, light them up. But the entire time we're sitting there for about 2 hours, the guy died.
Oh no.
Oh, damn.
The guy just backseat died, and all his family was trying to do was get him to the medical station, whatever the Iraqi medical station was at the time, somewhere in the, what do you call them? I forget what he called.
Why you didn't dispatch your medic?
I tried. I was like, hey, can we get our medic over here to check this guy's out? But they were like, no, we're not helping this guy.
Stand down.
It came from all the way from the top because we relayed all the way back to the top, and I literally had to sit here and watch this guy die. But yeah, I felt that in a time, yes, I was doing my job, protecting my soldiers that were intermixed of us because I was on the outer cordon, and the guy died. Kind of felt like it was on my watch, but I couldn't disobey orders, go help the guy. But I kind of felt like from the top down, it could have been handled differently, and there wasn't combative at all, but we literally could have probably saved a life. And
Yeah, but the problem is you got to think about too. If you let him roll through your cordon and they go through the city, somebody else is
Yep.
going to light him up.
so that's why I was coming from higher. Hey,
Yeah.
keep him out.
They would have got lit up. And then it would have been a couple people dead instead of just that guy.
Yep.
So you did the right thing.
Don't feel bad about that
That
one.
always hit me pretty hard,
Yeah.
especially that was like my biggest incident in that first deployment. Like it was kind of like, okay, I'm looking at death already, month 2 into deployment, and I was like, all right. But
Yeah, don't feel bad about that one. Tough call, man, but you made the right call.
I felt bad for the guy
Yeah,
and his family.
yeah, you should feel bad, but it's not your fault.
All right.
That's compassion. Look, he does have feelings.
A little bit, sometimes. Don't tell my
Don't tell your wife.
don't tell my wife that.
I know, man.
Well, speaking of wife, mine might have left and just gone back to Charlotte. So
Actually, I think she's shopping with our wives in the store across.
Yeah, they're all in there looking
in
at
there
dresses
shopping.
and stuff.
I hope you
Oh,
didn't give
good.
her a card because my wife has a credit card.
I think I'm good.
Does anybody else have anything pressing they want to share? We're rolling at, what are we at, 40 minutes right now.
40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you never can be too long or too short with this, man. I think it was a great episode.
I think we're good, unless you got something else you want to share since you are a guest. We didn't even plan. And nobody's going to believe that we didn't plan on having you on today, but we really didn't.
I know. I walked by. I'm like, oh man, it's cool.
Because he was
Podcast,
asking,
rolling
he's like,
live.
hey, we should have a guest come on. We're like, no, we're not ready for guests. We can't have any guests.
That was the only reason. Something told me was to bring this extra mic and headset. And when Kate come over here at Star Trek, she's like, do you know who just walked by my shop? I was like,
Yeah, man, very impressive setup. 4 mics in a row, all rolling seamlessly. This is perfect.
like it.
Well, I'm glad we got to, have you on and share some stories. And
Yeah,
I'm
that
glad.
was awesome. Hey, we'd like to, connect with you. We'd like to connect with you, man. Maybe have you on the show again. I'm sure.
Yeah, man, that sounds good.
So a little bit about us, so you're tracking. We're all 3 veterans, Iraq, and Afghanistan. We all own veteran-owned businesses. This is episode 4 for the podcast.
Oh, nice.
So we're just getting started. Pretty good friends with Kate and the Old Armor boys down there. So after this, I plan on going down there and get some beers. But
All right, well,
kind
I'll
of
probably
all
see you down
came
there.
together. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Greatly enjoyed it, and it was perfect that you walked by. We're glad you did.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything, and yeah, keep stay on the path and keep doing good stuff. And yeah,
absolutely.
we'll definitely see each other in the future.
Yeah.
Yes,
Was
sir.
he trying to say you have a podcast too?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I appreciate that, by the way. But yeah, I'm
no shameless plugs, man. Plug it in.
Hey, not as official as y'all set up out here, but yeah, I'm primarily public speaking nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just from my journey, I learned that you can really get through anything, no matter who you are, how bad you've been knocked down. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So now I just travel around speaking to different groups and companies and organizations, just reminding them and expanding perspective, which I think helps in any part of life. But in between that, I guess kind of still in the hobby phase, I'm working on my own podcast, and I think it's like y'all are doing right now. I think it's invaluable to sit with people in person and not just doing it over Zoom or whatever, which, we're such like a Zoom world now, and I get it. It's much easier and it can be done, and that's okay sometimes, but, I like being, across the table from someone. So all my guests, I just try to sit down with interesting people that I feel like can help educate the world and, again, expand perspective and just, conversation and journey by journey, helping everyone else who's listening, which I don't know if it's that many, but...
What's the name of your podcast?
The Kyle Carpenter Podcast.
Kyle Carpenter Podcast.
Nice.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, we will make
Don't feel bad. We only got like 2 listeners right now, so
Perfect.
hopefully
Yeah.
more after this.
Yeah,
We'll
it's a work in progress, but I think through consistency and dedication, it can grow.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
on behalf of these 2 guys, we wish you nothing but the best, man, and we absolutely would love to have you come back on the show.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for spending your afternoon with us.
Oh,
And tell your wife we're
for
sorry
having
we
me.
stole them away. You don't get to do any, no more fun. Oh,
She's
she
like,
was
I got
shocked.
to go shopping. I'm good.
Yeah, right.
All right, to everybody listening, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Next week we will talk about what, Mike?
Well, the second topic we were supposed to have today was influential people, mentors and whatnot. So get some stories about some mentors and people that helped change your career or not your career. Maybe you're after the career.
Absolutely.
Mentors.
And just real quick, final shout out to Kate and the local Patriot Roasting Company in downtown Kannapolis. Thanks for having us here. We loved it, enjoyed it, and look forward to doing more stuff with local Patriot.
Yeah, I liked it, man. It was great. And gave us a chance to meet Mr. Carpenter, so.
Yes, sir.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional or legal advice.